Jeff Greenfield has studied inaugural speeches for quite a while and really has looked back at some of the ones that really stand out in history. And Jeff, I'm curious to hear your impressions of today's speech by President Obama.
As a general point, Katie, I think it was a deliberate effort not to be flowery, that the Times did not demand that, in fact, demanded something else. So the words were tough, the words were simple, the sentences were short, the tone was very conversational, not oratorical. There are some echoes of FDR, set down the challenges, promised we're going to meet them. Some echoes of John Kennedy when he ticked off what he wanted to say to the different elements of the world. Two things that struck me with Special Force, not the most memorable maybe, but the most significant. One was when he talked about government. And instead of saying, as Reagan did, that government is the problem, or that others might have said government solution, he said, the question isn't whether government isn't good or bad, but what works. If it works, we'll keep it. If it doesn't, we'll end it. That's a very kind of pragmatic message. The other one, and I thought this was quite telling, was when he invoked the old virtues, almost like the Boy Scout oath of charity and kindness. And he said, these are old and they are true. And I really think the message there is, I may be, as he once called himself, a skinny black kid with a funny name, but I am in the mainstream of American thought. And lastly, the one real reference to race, very touching, is when he simply said toward the end that let's make it clear that someone whose father might not have been served at a local restaurant 60 years ago is now taking the oath of office. That was a very personal way of embodying what all of us have been talking about so far. There's a lot more to chew over in this speech, but I think those things are the ones that struck me, Katie.
All right, Jeff Greenfield, we heard from the expert. Now let's go.